Buckle up, boys and girls, because class is starting and it's gonna kick your ass. This is the Prepared Mind.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President. The deep state dedicated to carrying out the policies of the President.
Well. This picture right here looks a lot like, but not really, but really does look like a Democrat candidate for office in the House of Representatives. It's almost interesting that Mr. T would have chosen this look for the Wild Wednesday, but it's not just a Wild Wednesday, it's a wild, wacky SHTF Wednesday, and we're about to dig into it. Do me a favor, get your seatbelt, buckle yourself up. We're going to have some laughs, we're going to have some fun, and we're going to ultimately conclude, I think, that shit has hit the fan and you need to be prepared. I know you're there already. Here we are, folks. Woo! I tell you what, let's start with the picture. This, I'm telling you, the lady looks like this, only, a little older. She got that 40-year-old MILF look going for her. But here it is, folks. A porn wife is screaming that a sex crime has been committed, a sex crime, after videos of her that were put publicly on a porn site by her and her husband. Oh, yeah, and she's a Democrat, too. She's a Democrat running for office. She said, they're being used to humiliate me. It's like, look, lady, you humiliated yourself. Hey, I get it. You needed the money, right? Reminds me of Andrew Dice Clay and then one of his rhymes, Little Boy Blue. He needed the money. Anyways, she is running. She's in the race. They call it a race. I think she's probably fallen down and got some dirt on her knees, if you know what I'm saying to you. But she's screaming it's a sex crime to use her porn world. And it just goes to show you, folks, that the horny housewife sex for sale on the internet, why can't that be used against you if it's public and she put it there? So by screaming it's a sex crime to do this, she's proven that she's a comedian also. Additionally, Democrats sell themselves cheap. They sell themselves really cheap. Do they not? For $5, watch what she'll do to her husband. For $5. Okay. Let's see. Mr. T, I see your new request. Awesome. I'll get to that after the show. And then let's continue, folks. Let's really get into some SHTF stuff. Putin, that's Vladimir Putin of Russia. He is accusing the United Kingdom, that is England, of training their sabotage groups to go after nuclear power plants. And he's warning of the serious consequences of this, folks. And as far as I'm concerned, we have had the Ukraine military targeting the largest nuclear power plant in Europe at Zaporizhia. They have targeted it with artillery, trying to blow it up, and then say the Russians were trying to blow it up. We have proof, evidence, 100%, according to the media's own reports, that Ukraine has been trying to cause a nuclear catastrophe. And who is Ukraine? Ukraine is supported by the United States government in Washington, D.C., the UK government in London, The World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. That's right, folks. The money is making money there. This right here, Putin coming out and saying they will say it's nuclear blackmail. All we need to know, folks, is this war is going nuclear. It's going nuclear. It has to at this point. It has to. Ukraine cannot win it. They don't have the ability to fight their own war. They don't have the skills on the battlefield. They don't have the skills to operate highly technical things. How many tanks? How many armored personnel aircraft? How many Bradleys? How many rockets? How many anti-air missiles? How much do they have to be given? And they demonstrate they don't know how to use it. They put their own people in a meat grinder and have them killed. Oh, the nuclear war potential is coming. And to me, this is proof that the World Economic Forum, that is to say, mega corporations and mega bankers, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the United States government, and the United Kingdom government will not give up Ukraine no matter what. Even though European leaders are saying it has to happen. It's over. It's done. And Zelensky himself is now recruiting, pulling into the military for frontline combat duty, old men, crippled men, and women. We may as well get a child army next. You know, they're small. They're harder to shoot. They'll use that excuse. Wow, they're going to win the war for us because they're such hard targets to hit. Anything for Ukraine. No, this is all about Zelensky and his rich puppet masters. They will do anything to justify their attacks, folks, including creating a nuclear catastrophe. Now, the good news for you and me, the good news for the world, the good news for the environment. Oh, yeah, the environment. Aren't we supposed to care about Mother Earth? Aren't we supposed to care about our climate? But the powers that be, in charge of the U.S. government, in charge of the European government, and in charge of their militaries, is willing to take a chance with both nuclear weapons and nuclear power plants. But I do have good news. Nuclear power plants are built, with the exception of Chernobyl, which is a very bad design and only one made like it, right? And Fukushima was not a nuclear accident. That was a tsunami accident. Now, that said, nuclear power plants are designed now and have been for some time to withstand bombardment from the inside, a nuclear explosion. They're designed, they have what's called a containment dome. It's designed to contain a nuclear meltdown and explosion. That's some serious thick-ass concrete. So, if it's designed to take that energy from the inside, I can't even tell you what kind of sneeze that is because they'll give this channel a strike. I can't even make a fucking joke out of it, even though it's a satire channel. Not only is it designed to withstand a nuclear explosion, it's not a nuclear explosion, but rather a reaction explosion from nuclear fuel rods. It ought to be able to withstand quite a bit of a bombardment from the outside. And even if the United Kingdom is training Ukraine sabotage groups, they're not going to be able to get in and sabotage jack shit. Let's hope. Even British SAS and U.S. Special Forces would have a hell of a time getting close enough to those nuclear power plants since they're occupied by the Russians. It would take a modern-day James Bond with an invisibility cloak from Harry Potter to get close enough to do some damage. Let's pray they don't use a Moab on it and nail it from a stealth bomber up at 80,000 feet. A Moab is a mother of all bombs, bunker buster. Let's pray that the powers that be, don't go that far. Now, back to SHTF, World War III. I've got more good news for you, folks. You bet. The Nigerian government, even though it is led by leaders, they did a coup d'etat. That is a military takeover of the government. They stepped in, took over control of the Nigerian government, That's right, Niger, right there in Africa. And they kicked out the old government. And then they told France, hey, France, why don't you fucking pound sand and get the hell out of here? We don't want your military here. We don't want your people here. We don't even want your diplomats here. Well, France is like, oh, we don't recognize you as the government of Nigeria. I'm like, well, you recognize the coup d'etat in Ukraine and Zelensky's government. Well, Macron does not recognize the leaders of Niger. Well, I think it's really simple. They stand up and go, well, my name is name. Now he can say, now you recognize me. See this face? It goes with the name. You recognize me. No, what he means by saying he doesn't recognize the junta leaders, what he's saying is he doesn't acknowledge their authority. That's funny. I don't think the Nigerian leadership accepts, honors, recognizes the French right or the French authority to be there. It's not their country. This isn't France. It's Niger. And now, folks, the arrest of French officials is making tensions worse. But the French were told to leave, and they refused. I tell you what, if I was a freaking diplomat and there was a military takeover, a hostile enemy or a hostile force takes over a country, I would say, Mr. President, this is John, your prepared mind diplomat in the country of Wakanda. I am now going to leave because there's been a military takeover, and I don't feel like being held hostage or killed the way that guy was killed in freaking Benghazi. Makes sense to you guys? Yeah. You don't need that kind of shit. Get out of the country. When they officially recognize the government that's in place, then I'll go back. Anyways, this idiot doesn't fucking leave, so he gets arrested. And the military of Niger says, they're now saying, they're reporting, hey, France is putting troops and equipment into neighboring countries. In other words, they're feeling threatened. And they should, folks. Could this be Armageddon in Africa? World War III, because France won't back down and leave. One more time. Niger is in Africa. France is in Europe. I did really good in geography. Did you? I mean, what do you guys think? Now, I understand it's a coup d'etat. This is not a legitimate government in the sense that the people voted it in. But did the people really vote in the government that they had that was friendly to France? Niger has been a French and U.S. pawn puppet tool for quite some time. And it sounds like they're at least liberated of that European and North American influence. Now they're under the influence of what? And I've already put my piece out on this. If the junta, if the coup government, if the military government of Niger wants to retain power, it better start talking to China and Russia and saying, we're legitimate. Let us have an election. We'll prove it. Because we can trust elections. And we're supposed to trust the Ukrainian election. We're supposed to trust the Afghan election, the Iraqi election. Oh, and folks, I mean, have you read the reports about the voting machines here in the United States of America? How unreliable they are? Have you heard about it? Have you heard that employees from the companies that own these machines, they have access not only into the machines via internet, but they can change the results. Talk about disenfranchising and committing an act of awful, awful treason. Woo! I tell you what, man. Tell you what. We're in big trouble. We're in big trouble. Now, get your questions down below. I want to know what you guys are thinking. You can cover and hit really fine points on the topics I've discussed, or you can just change directions and talk about some other SHTF mind-bending crap that's going on. It's up to you, and you, by participating, are helping other people realize This isn't just John's show. It's everyone in the Prepared Mind Network. I just happen to be in the glamorous, glorifying bunker of fun. Now, we all remember, well, at least I hope we all do, that the U.S. government has been caught lying, that government agencies, including the White House, have been caught interfering with free speech in America by working with social media companies to discriminate against people who are conservatives, Trump supporters, constitutionalists, libertarians, freedom-minded folk. Well, now they're not even fucking hiding it, folks. The White House has sent letters out to the media outlets regarding the Biden impeachment inquiry. And here's what the letter said. Here's a quote from this letter. Quote, "It's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans." As if the media already wasn't looking for any sign of a way to make the Republicans look bad. In fact, they kicked off a story, a report that a representative out of Colorado, Republican, Minnie Mouse, Boebert, Lauren Boebert, apparently was enjoying herself too much at a theatrical rendition of Beetlejuice. And somebody complained about her, and then they complained again, so they asked her to leave. Woo! Boy, how about that? Ridiculous story. Absolutely ridiculous story. It's nowhere near as bad as the Attorney General for the state of Michigan, drunk off her ass at a baseball game. I think when she passed out, at least she wasn't lying in a pool of vomit. I know she didn't do that. She didn't go that far. But here we are, folks. The government can initiate civilian harassment in the media, and it's public knowledge. That's as bad as using the media to censor, well, our free speech. Social media, free speech. It's just as bad, if not worse, because it's coming at a time when the Biden administration should be shitting their pants and trying to clean up this mess instead of trying to sling mud at everyone else. Folks, the impeachment drums are beating hard. I've already told you what I think McCarthy's going to do. He's going to stonewall, he's going to drag his feet, he's going to sabotage, he's going to poison the well, he's going to screw it up. Because that's what he's being paid to do. He's bought and paid for. But even if it goes forward, this is going to create so much partisan tension that I'm expecting things to get absolutely nasty. What do you think? I don't even know if they'll impeach Biden. They're going to start making accusations. Oh, I hope the Democrats walk out of Congress. Just walk on out, vacate it. Try saying there's not enough votes for a quorum, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens. Try it. Try every trick in the book. It's going to be great, folks. Get your popcorn. Get your drinks together. The shit storm is coming. And I've got this for you, folks. Back to Ukraine. Back to Russia. I talked about the military not being able to do jack shit with what we've given them. Well, except some of their drones have made it far into Russia, into deep Ruski territory, and actually hit targets. They actually hit a ship, a Russian ship, with one of these torpedo drones. They've actually managed to blow up the bridges. In every case where they've done something, nasty, really damaging, it appears that the United Kingdom, the United States, or NATO has put out a little bit of extra help. Well, in this case, folks, there was a massive Ukrainian missile attack at a Russian port, a naval port in Sevastopol. And that, of course, is on the Crimean Peninsula on the Black Sea. It's on fire, folks. It's burning. Now, folks, now Ukraine has missiles. Now Ukraine knows how to use them. Now Ukraine can hit their targets en masse. Do you believe this? Do you buy this shit? My answer, guess again. We're getting very, very close to the West, Washington, D.C., London, and Brussels joining NATO for their masters. And you know who their masters are. And they're going to make this a real war. If they aren't careful, they're going to make this a real war. Once again, I anticipate a large response from Russia over this. Okay, now I'm going to leapfrog back over. To Washington, D.C. See, we have SHTF in politics in D.C. right now. They've got SHTF over in Europe. They've got SHTF down in Africa. But make no mistake, folks, shit is hitting the fan big time in D.C. Call your congressmen. Encourage them to fight, to stand up, to accuse Biden of all manner of things that there is truly evidence. There's shit piles of evidence. Oodles, if you will. Boxes, crates, truckloads of evidence. I mean, how many boxes of evidence was Joe hiding in his freaking garage behind his Corvette? That was evidence. So Republican Representative Ken Buck says that Marge Taylor Greene's impeachment remarks are absurd. Republican Ken Buck says there's no evidence linking Joe Biden to a high crime or misdemeanor. What has Representative Kenny Buckme in the huckabuck? What has he been smoking? Folks, the partisan circus has begun. The rhinos are dancing with the jackasses. And everybody in America is about to become infuriated. It's going to be like the 4th of July every day, folks, when they start this impeachment hearing in the floor of Congress. Fireworks. And that's exactly what the Great Reset people want in America, is they want us to have fireworks. They want to win, but they need fireworks to destroy America. They need bombs and rockets and missiles of the political sort to explode in this country. And they think they can come out victorious, smelling like roses. Well, it's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that fun, but it's going to be one hell of a show, right? People watch NASCAR, folks. Why do people watch NASCAR? I actually met a IMSA racing official today. Funny who you run into when you just start talking to people about things going on the planet. Anyways, back to this. Back to this. What is happening out there, folks? It's absolutely hit the fan. Why do people like NASCAR? Well, they like to see cars go fast. They like to see people just working their ass off trying to get somewhere. And they love to see the wrecks. That's right. They love to see the wrecks. Well, we're about to witness one of the largest political wrecks in all of world history. Certainly the biggest wreck in the last 5,000 years. We're about to see it. What do you think? What do you think? Now, and let's go with this. Let's go with this. It is a wild, wacky SHTF world on this Wednesday. In Mexico. In Mexico, scientists have gone into Congress. That's right, the Mexican Congress. And they are holding a UFO alien hearing. That's right. Just like in America, the United States of America, Mexico is now having a UFO hearing. And scientists have shown up, not just to argue or make the claim for or show evidence that aliens are here, but they presented two, not one, but two mummified alien corpses. Now, this isn't the first time that in Mexico they claim to have found mummified aliens. What's interesting is we know that they found a lot of weird shit in America, like, I don't know, evidence of giants or very large people with red beards and copper shields and, yeah, weird stuff out there that the Smithsonian has hid. A lot of interesting research in that area. But down in Mexico, they didn't have that. They tend to hide their stuff from the Smithsonian. But they've now brought them out. Two mummified aliens. They've got 3 fingers, kind of like E.T. They've got elongated heads. And the pictures that were on the internet look kind of like E.T. Just what in the name of P.T. Barnum is going on with national governments and the alien story? Everyone should know P.T. Barnum. Barnum and Bailey Circus, back when they used to actually have entertainment that did not require CGI computer graphics and green screen technology to do something interesting. That's right, folks. People and animals used to do their own stunts, real life stunts. Now, P.T. Barnum said, what did he say? Oh, man, what the hell did P.T. Barnum say? Any publicity is good publicity? I think it was something along those lines. Any publicity is good. So bad, good, didn't matter. It was going to be used to his benefit. So, yeah, what in the name of P.T. Barnum is going on with this alien story? It's getting weirder, wackier, and stupider by the minute. And by the way, I'm going to, let's see. Mr. T says, what I said about the InfoWars anchor Owen Schroyer isn't accurate. I called him a chicken shit reporter. But he's actually one of the good guys and a very courageous and outspoken defender of freedom. I've been following him for 7 years. And he's anything but what you call him. Mr. T, I'm going to answer you. When I said he was a chicken shit reporter, I have to apologize, both to any fans of Owen Schroyer and even to Owen Schroyer himself. What I was trying to convey is he is not Ted Koppel. He is not Tom Brokaw. He isn't Walter Cronkite. He's, compared to them, he's a nobody, very small. Kind of like compared to other people on the internet, I am very small. So when I use the term chicken shit, I mean very small and inconsequential. Not that he's a bad guy or a lousy reporter or an idiot or anything negative. It was a very poor choice of terminology. So, again, I apologize to Owen Schroyer. That wasn't very accurate of me to say it that way. I apologize. There, you've heard it, folks. And as far as InfoWars goes, folks, we have been in an information war. That name chosen by Alex Jones. That's right, the great, very credible, yet totally discredited by the mainstream media, Alex Jones, for his sensationalization, is that even a word, of everything in the world, right? From, mass graves and that these coffins are going to do. I mean, he played everything up to the hill. He is a showman, kind of like P.T. Barnum. But look at how many people he reached. Look at how many people he woke up. Look at how many people he red-pilled. Look at how many people he helped, right? And so, I'm glad that this Owen Schroyer guy is out there fighting. And it is maybe I said the chicken shit part is him getting thrown in jail for 60 days. The guy is a fighter. Right? 60 days. This guy is courageous, and he's a patriot. Many of us are. So I'm really glad that Mr. T called me out on that and brought it to my attention that I said it in such a way. Oh, hey, great. Also, YouTube is offering me $50 off if I want to buy the NFL package. No thanks. No thanks at all on that one. I'll pass. Folks, we're at the 30-minute mark. I still got more stuff to go over. But I wanted to get to that last bit on Owen Schroyer. Thank you, Mr. T. And, folks, guess what it is time for? It is time for the Inner Circle. Bada bing, bada boom, here we are. It is now your turn. What do you want to talk about? I have no idea even how many people we've got going with questions. Here we are. Whoops, here we go. This is from Jolene. She says, John, maybe the Democrat MILF is on to something. You should add a corn label to the satire disclaimer. Corn? Do you mean porn? I tell you, the Democrat MILF. Wow. I think maybe she was practicing for participation in the activities, the extra congressional nocturnal activities that Madison Cawthorn was speaking of. Shortly before Kevin McCarthy hamstrung him and fucked up his campaign so that he would be kicked out of Congress. Wow. Yeah. We need a corn display. That was good, Jolene. All right. Who do we have next? And we do have Ooman in the background, by the way. Also, look out. Ooman actually had to get rid of somebody the other day. Somebody snuck in and tried pulling some troll shit. Anyways, this is live only for Subscribestar, and it is live only for the preparedmind.club. And boy, we've got some good stuff for you. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ooman. Got it. Who do we have up next? We have Survival Readiness in the house. And he says, I had to make it in for live chat today. Ooman, did you see Mexico's government showed 2 alien corpses in front of their Congress? Blue beam coming in hot. Now, I'm going to be frank with you guys. No, wait. I'll be John, but I'll be honest. Honest as a Frank. This is a whacked out Wednesday. Okay, folks, we are not the only ones here. I can guarantee freaking dang tea. We're not the only ones here. What I have seen with my eyes, well, maybe I saw a trick. Even Ooman spotted a freaking UFO in a picture I sent him from a trip I took in 2018. You guys used to point out strange orbs flying around when I would do my walking discussions back at the Fifth Wheel in California. I just grab the camera, go out and do like a 20 to 30-minute talk while walking. You guys, they're out. Whatever the hell is out there is out there. Those are unidentified. But in Congress, in Mexico, they actually brought aliens. Aliens. I mean, if there's anyone who's been vindicated out there, it is that kooky-looking dude. Kooky-looking dude who claimed to work at Los Alamos, who was befriended by John Lear, who claimed to work at S4 Dreamland. This guy who is running his Corvette off of hydrogen also. Anyone remember his name? Anyone? 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 He says he was working on alien craft. That is to say, aircraft with technology beyond anything that human beings have in modern times. So either it's ancient aircraft found somewhere by the government that they're reverse engineering or something. something. The guy's name, by the way, is Bob Lazar. Just seeing if it was going to pop up on the screen. Anyways, Bob Lazar is vindicated by a lot of things and a lot of people and a lot of information. Still, alien mummies. I actually believe, folks, there's some weird shit going on, whether they're interdimensional beings or satanic angel beings, or they live under the earth, or they come from the dark side of the moon. There's some weird shit on this planet. Now, referring back to survival readiness, what does this do for the U.S. government? Remember, they do not let a crisis go to waste. They certainly won't let an opportunity go to waste. If they can use the alien invasion or something from the alien mix to either frighten us, scare us, or what have you, they'll do it. They'll do it. They won't let an opportunity slip by. So yeah, if the government wants to and they've got blue beam technology that they want to use, then they'll do it. This does not hurt the U.S. government at all. Not now. Remember, folks, desperate times call for desperate measures. For us, me and you, little people, that means prepping, because there ain't much else we can do to fix the problems in D.C. other than, well, give them our support and say, go in there and fight. Go in there and fight against Representative Stickett and his huckabuck, right? That guy's an idiot. Most of them are. Even the Republican Party, which is nothing more than a political action committee, in my opinion. Folks, the parties and their party lines and their party platforms and their party sellout ability, they are not who you and I are as registered Republicans or as philosophical libertarians. The Republican Party is an organization, not much different than Coca-Cola or Amazon or any other organization. What they're selling is a bunch of shit they want us to buy. They want us to believe that they're here to help us. The Republican Party isn't. And they're trying to get rid of Trump as well. They want him off the ticket. So the GOP, the grand old party, the Republican Party, the Political Action Committee or unit is going to start working with Democrats, or has started working. Certainly their rhino counterparts are. And get this, folks. Fucking get this. Mittens Romney. That's right. The effete jackass of a senator from Utah has announced that he will no longer seek re-election. This is his quote. This is what this sphincter salad said. Quote, "It's time for a new generation of leaders. Tyrant, thieving, murdering assholes do not give up power or money." If he is not going to seek re-election, folks, this is evidence that the rats are fleeing the sinking ship. That is to say, the Republican Party, the United States government, the mainstream media, the entire system is sinking in its own spoiled cesspool that has parked its boat in. And rats like Romney will take the money they've made and their investments that they have from their insider trading and their black hole, pigeonholed, rat-holed money from their money laundering schemes, and they'll live on that and wait for the next government to come about that they can control, and they'll step right back in. That's what they do. The evidence is there. The uber wealthy, the uber powerful will maintain their connections and wait for a government, or they'll leave the country and go to another country and set up shop again. It's not unheard of. It's not rare at all. These people are all a bunch of thieving scum. They can take their slick back, Brill cream wearing, plastic banana good time toys, and they can shove it. All right, let's do this. Uman, Jolene, let's do another comment from you guys. It's Orlando stepping in. He says, I was thinking, could there be a way we can create a counter elite to help us fight the battle against the left? I think that's what we need, a counter elite. Just a thought. Orlando, here's my position on that. I haven't talked about it in a while. It's been quite a while. There is a counter elite. There has to be. Imagine a very large stone wheel on flat ground. It's going to take a lot of energy and power to push it and get it rolling in one direction. Now, the reason I choose to use a large millstone as the example here is people like you and me, we're just little people. We can neither stop it once it starts moving or push it the other way because we're just little people. So the uber rich who have a lot of money, a lot of power, a lot of influence, they are the ones who are trying to push this millstone in a direction towards one world government, total global corporatist socialism, and they're pushing it that way. Now, what I point to is if there was nobody on the other side of the stone, a counter elite, a powerful counter elite group, once they got this stone going, they would get it going faster and faster and faster, and nobody could stop it. Nobody. So there must be someone over there pushing back. And they've been pushing back not for years, but for decades. What we're hearing about as far as mega wealthy assholes are the assholes. The Zuckerbergs, the Soroses, the Clintons, Obamas. Right? Everyone knows all the conspiracy theories around the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Right? The global elite bankers, their henchmen in Goldman Sachs and in JP Morgan. Right? We know about all of them. But on the other side, there's got to be someone pushing back. Now, in the last few years, the World Economic Forum globalist, corporatist scumbags, they've decided to go all in and push with 100% of their power. And that's why we've seen so much moving our way. Right? So much moving our way. So here we are. I think it's there. At least I pray it is, Orlando. Otherwise, I don't know why it took them so long to get to this point. If they didn't have any opposition, right? In fact, I'm going to point now to the U.S. Constitution, our piece of paper, the Constitution. And I'm going to point to the Declaration of Independence. The justification for resisting evil and the piece of paper, the document, which limits. Now, I've heard the Democrats in the past, many of the scumbags out there, say it's just a piece of paper. Burn it, burn it. So if the super elite did not have an opposing force, they could literally go in and burn the Constitution. They could have an event and just look at everyone and say, the United States of America is now over. We're in national and world martial law. You people don't fucking matter anymore. We own you. We own the government. We own the corporations. We own the banks. We own everything. We own you. You have no say in this anymore. The Constitution is done. If you want to argue against it, just go out in the street, raise a red shirt on a stick, and we'll come by and just murder you. We'll just get it over with. Look what they did in Russia. Murdered tens of millions. I think Russia murdered somewhere between 30 and 40 million of their own people. Communist government, socialist government. And then socialist communist China. They murdered 40, 50, 60 million people. Their own people. Hitler only killed 10 million people. He's an amateur compared to the real hardcore socialists. And I'm not really making light compared to Stalin and the Soviets and compared to communist leader Mao of China. Hitler really was still operating with training wheels on his killing machine. That's what happens when there's no opposition. They just They just start murdering people. So the fact, Orlando, is, and I pray we have a counter elite who is doing something other than just me and you and us saying, well, get out your torches and pitchforks, get ready for that day when we get to participate. Because right now, apparently somewhere, there is a power struggle going on of immense proportions, galactic scale. Well, I guess it can't be galactic. How about the global scale? You know, we're just a little planet after all, right? A little green and blue marble. Wow. But you and I, we can't create a counter elite. We see evidence that there are people with a lot of money, like Mike Lindell. And thank you for sending me that video on him, of him being deposed by an asshole lawyer and him reading the riot act to the asshole lawyer. I enjoyed that immensely. We can't create a counter elite. They just have to already exist. But if Mike Lindell, who is a very influential and rich dude, thinks the way he does, and he sees the same problems that you and I see, that all of us out here feel and have to experience, then there are other extremely rich and very powerful libertarian-minded folks. And I'm going to bet that just like you and I, they are not a bunch of murderous thugs. And they've been trying to win this game on a more of an intellectual level, a moral level. But when someone knocks all the pieces off the chessboard and comes at you with a dagger, it's pretty much done being nice. And that's what I think we're seeing right now. When the government uses the Internal Revenue Service, the tax authority, when they use the FBI, federal law enforcement, and when they use alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, another bureaucracy that is tied to weapons, and they use those people with their badges and their guns to break into people's home and murder them on the spot, or arrest them and throw them in jail without trial, deny them due process, violate every right and everything that we hold to be sacred, then you know it has hit the fan. And here we are, September 13th, 2023. Thanks, Orlando. It is a great thought to have. I believe that what you're asking for is here, and that there is a battle at every single level. There's the ones that we can see, our local, our state battles, our federal battles, and then there's ones that are off the screen. There's battles that you and I will never get to see, know, or hear about. I pray that that's what's happening, because we need all the damn help we can get. All right. Thank you, sir. Ooh, man, Jolene, what do we got out there? Who'll be next? And it's Heidi says, that was from yesterday, Jolene. There was a court decision about the government being ruled against. I sent the video to John yesterday. I just wondered what he thought about it. I'm going to ask for some help. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep last night. I've been watching so many videos, clips, reading opinions and thoughts. I can't remember what it was Heidi sent me. I know that she sent me some stuff. Give me some help, man. Throw me a freaking bone here. Heidi, put up there. Well, shit. Someone get Heidi, get what the video was about, the topic, the subject matter, and I'll get to that. I'm not afraid. Bridgekeeper. Mikey G said, and okay, Jolene, what movie was that from? Mikey G says, change of subject. Is there any truth to the rumors that the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Bureaucracy, the ATF, and the Department of Justice, which includes the Attorney General and the FBI, are eliminating private sales of firearms? The answer is, I don't know of any truth to the rumors. I'm sure they would love to stop it. Now, many states require a transfer between private parties. It's my understanding that many states couldn't give a shit. They consider them a private property matter, which they are. They're a Second Amendment matter, which means the government cannot regulate between private citizens of this country. Right? They love to say that they can regulate interstate commerce. Sorry, that's not what regulating means. But that's how they now interpret it. That has to do with corporate activity, not private human beings like me and you. So the rumors that they're eliminating private sales of firearms are probably well-founded they're rumors. So they're well-founded rumors based on the arrests that have been happening. The ATF cannot. They cannot write a rule. They can't write a rule to govern that. It's none of their fucking business. See, the bureaucracies write rules. Legislatures write statutes. Neither of those things are law. And if a rule or a statute violates the law, then we say it's unconstitutional, because the Constitution is the highest law of the land, period. The U.S., the Constitution for these United States is the highest law of the land. It is the law. It takes precedent over anything the legislature would do, short of a constitutional amendment. And even then, I think it's subject to weighing it against our liberties. The government can vote itself some more power. Anyways, I digress. Statutes, rules, bullshit coming out of government. They can't do shit. And well, they can pass the rules, they can pass the statutes. They can claim that they have the law, and the law says you're not allowed to have guns. Then it comes right down to might makes right, doesn't it? Possession is 9/10 of the law, is a saying my mother used to have. These fucking people, they don't have your guns in their hands. They're not their guns, are they? It's funny, they say it's illegal to have them. That's what the government would love to say. Having guns is illegal. They would love to say that. Well, when I look down right there, I look down and go, hey, look at that. There's a gun right there. Yep. Cold blue steel. It's pretty too. It's just sitting there. The government pronounced that illegal. Looks the same to me. It still exists. Come and take it. Fuckheads. All right. Thank you, Mikey G. Let's move on if we shall. Let's change the subject. Who's next on the Prepared Mind channel? That's survival readiness again. He says, in other news, per Kerry Lake, Zelensky came out threatening that Ukraine refugees could be activated like sleeper cells if the West doesn't keep funding them. I think he meant to write Zelensky, Voldemort Zelensky. He is now threatening that Ukraine refugees could be activated like sleeper cells. That's fucking hilarious. I missed that. Is that a piece from The Onion or the Babylon Bee? These people can't fight their way out of a paper bag. I mean, if they're refugees that are willing to go to war against us in our countries in the West, Europe, or the United States, if they're that good and that sharp and that awesome, why, and that patriotic and that willing to kill themselves in an effort to commit an act of terror, then why aren't they over on the eastern border trying to fight the Russians? This is a baseless, ridiculous threat, if it's even true. And I'm not doubting you, survival readiness. I'm just fucking laughing about Zelensky. It sounds exactly like something this little turd would say. He's already threatened that our sons and daughters will have to face a threat from Russia if we don't support them, and if we don't give them money, and if we don't give them weapons, and if we don't train them, if we don't give them the know-how. These people sound like a bunch of entitled millennials is what they sound like. That's exactly what they fucking sound like. Bunch of stinking losers who can't do it themselves and want everyone else to do it for them and then proclaim how smart they are. I mean, how many of these frickin' millennials and centennials and zennials and their parents never taught them the word no. Everyone gets a participation trophy. Everyone's a winner. No one's a loser. Everyone thinks their fucking kid is a genius. Oh my God, he managed to put food in his mouth. He's a genius. Yeah, we wonder why so many of them are fucked in the head. They don't even know what their gender is. Well, my parents wouldn't tell me no, so I decided that I'm a giraffe with 3 penises. And no one told me no, so I believed it. And I started stapling carrots to my forehead. These people are assholes. Anyways, not all millennials or centennials or zennials are bad people. I'm just picking on the stupid ones. These are the same ones that take gender-bending pills because they don't know or believe that they were born the way they are. And folks, we haven't even begun to suffer the consequences of what these Democrats have done by enabling these little fucks to do this stuff. All right. James Nicholson says, evening, everyone. Question, John. Is stealing documents from a skiff treason? The answer is, in my opinion, I am not a JAG judge. I'm not Judge Advocate General. But in my opinion, with my limited legal education, stealing classified documents is not treason. It is stealing classified documents. If you were to take classified documents that you stole and provide them to an enemy of the state, now you have committed treason. Because now that information that's on those classified or top secret documents is now being provided to an enemy who can then turn around and use them against the country. I think that, in my opinion, is the differentiation. Now, when we say Joe Biden has classified top secret documents, some of them have been claimed to be taken from a skiff facility. And that is a secure facility or room or place or building or location that is highly secure. So the deal with Joe Biden is, if he has any of those, has he committed treason by either stealing them or being in possession? No, in my opinion, because I'm using the same opinion. However, that does not mean that he has not offered to sell them. It does not mean that the possession of them doesn't mean that he has sold them or given them away. That would require witness testimony or evidence that some very specific information in the possession of Joe has also now ended up in the possession of another government, like China or Ukraine or some other country that was willing to pay for it. Once you establish the connection between the possession by another country and the implementation of that top secret knowledge into military or technological use, like Iran, for example. That's right, Obama, Iran. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Joe Biden is paying off in the number of billions of dollars Iran again. Why are we having to pay hush money to Iran? Why? Why? Inquiring minds want to know. Anyways, that's a great question, James. As far as I'm concerned, Biden has committed multiple different impeachable offenses. Remember, it says high crimes and misdemeanors. It doesn't say he has to commit treason. But I wouldn't put it past the old fuck for a couple $1 million to commit an act of treason and give documents of a very important and secret nature to an enemy or potential enemy of the country. I think even selling or providing documents to another country is treason, because that country can then turn around and dispose of those documents in a way that can fall into the enemy's hands. Whether you knowingly or didn't knowingly know that they would do that, you still committed an act that by its very nature, the selling or providing of documentation to another country, right? It's in the open. I think that is treasonous. All right. I've got, looks like, well, shit, we're over an hour. Do I have another question? Yes, no. Bob Lazar. I revealed that already. I said Bob Lazar. He's the guy that is. Oh, here we go. No worries. I couldn't get it up fast enough. Well, a lot of guys have that problem. Whoops, that didn't sound right after I reread it after hitting enter. Here we are. It's totally normal. It's got to be an awful feeling. Anyways, Heidi's question. I want to give that one more chance before I sign off. Did Heidi's topic? Nope. The answer is no. Uman's waving me off. He's like, clear the runway. Clear the runway. We're taking off. We're heading out. Tomorrow is going to be Thursday. And I'm going to start off with 0 Dark 30 as per usual. Are you convinced that shit is hit the fan? Well, you fucking better be. If this, the last couple of days, the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, the last couple of years haven't done it, then I guess it's going to take not a mummified alien, but rather a living one walking down the street with Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and President Biden and Nancy Pelosi, and they can all have a bottle of whiskey in one hand and licking an ice cream cone in the other. And then, and maybe then, the average jackass in this country will wake up and realize we're in a world of hurt. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed, Semper Fi.